So in this video we're making the left hand bracket, which is shown finished here. If you'd like me to video making the right hand bracket as well, if you've enjoyed this video, please leave a comment to say that you'd like to see the right hand bracket made, and I'll do that next week. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the video. Hi, I'm Julia and this is my shed. So this week's shenanigans is on the Britannia we need motion brackets, and again we don't have those in the kit that I've got. So what I've done is order a left hand and a right hand bracket from Model Engineers Laser, who are lovely people. If you need any laser cutting, I'd definitely get in touch with them. So they do send you some drawings and a few pictures as well of the finished article, so you've got something to work to. One thing I hadn't actually realised is that you have to do a bit of bending, and this is quite a thick plate, so they do say to run a slitting saw where the bend is required. And unfortunately we can't actually see where that is, so we'll have to mark it off one of the other parts. So amongst all the information I've got a lot more on the left hand bracket, so what I'm going to do is start with that, as it's the slightly simpler one as well. There's less bends required, so we'll start with that one, and then we'll move on to the right hand one. So I'll get rid of the right hand one for now. So I've managed to get a few pictures off the interwebs. This is basically what we're trying to build. So there is one part requires bending, which is this part. So I think that this is the bend we're looking at. So I've got two options with manufacturing this. I can either TIG weld the tabs, or somebody suggested also silver soldering. The advantage with silver solder is that you'll get some nice you get like a nice meniscus from the silver solder, so it looks more like a casting, because this would have been a casting in real life. So or I could do both. I could sort of tack it together with TIG and then silver solder it. Just have a go with the normal hacksaw first, see how we get on. That's quite easy actually. I think I'll just use a manual hacksaw. So I've just very quickly put it together. I think we need to take a bit off this edge still. I've chamfered it a bit, but it's still when we get to this end we've got a bit of a gap, so we need to sort that out. And then the other thing we've got to do is bend along here. I can show you that. So basically where this corner is, we need to put a bend across there, so that slot will go into that hole, that tab will go into that slot. But at the moment it's quite far away, so I can't really mark that line with any accuracy, so we need to sort that out first. So a little bit more fettling on the tabs just to make them a bit looser, but you can see it's starting to take shape. I mean, it's even with with nothing on it, it's holding together quite nicely. These parts go through that way, but we'll worry about those in a minute. So after a little bit of fettling, we can these are sort of slotting together, but there's still a bit of a gap here. Not sure if you can see that. So what I need to do is just come into the corners and just clean the corners up a bit, just so they sit a bit closer in. So we definitely have a problem with these parts being the wrong size. I think it should go in like this, but if I do hold it like that, you can see there's quite a substantial part needs to be removed. Okay, so I've marked what needs to be removed, and it's quite a lot, so I think I'll have a go with the bastard file and we'll have a go, see if we can remove some of that. So after a bit of fettling with the files, we've got these corners to fit quite nicely. So what I have noticed is that if I've just put a straight edge across there, these protrude down, but it's quite difficult to hold this at the moment because these are a bit loose. So what I'm thinking is that I'll actually weld these first and then clean up those overhanging parts. It's only going to take a couple of strokes of the file, but once they're welded in, they'll be much easier to hold steady, because otherwise they'll be wiggling around all over the place. We're nearly ready to start welding. I've got all these done. So unfortunately my camera memory was full, so I didn't actually video doing any welding. So I did these two first on 90 amps, which is supposedly the correct setting for TIG. As you can see, we've made a bit of a mess of it. I think I can round these corners off a bit and sort of recover them. These are just decorative parts anyway, really, so they're not particularly important. Had better results on this part. I mean, that's probably the best. That's what I was going for. And I was doing this with 60 amps. And you can sort of see I'm just trying to blend the two pieces of metal together. So, yeah, not too bad. Yeah, that's quite a nice one as well. I ground the tabs so they were almost flush with the metal they were going through. Just really so I could just do like a butt join basically, and it's worked out okay. I think where I was taking my time and moving the arc around, I got the best results. You know, this one in particular went very well. So I struck the arc and then just started going around in a circular motion, sort of keep the heat moving, and that seemed to work quite nicely. Although I had a go at chamfering these pieces, they're not quite in line. So if I put a straight edge on there, there is actually a bit of a gap. So I just need to get this chamfer correct. Once I've done that, I can then mark where this bend's got to be, and then we'll probably use a slitting saw to score across here so we get a nice bend. So that's the next thing to do. I've made a slit where the bend's going to be. I've gone in, this is about 3mm, and I've gone in 2mm with the slitting saw, and it's about a 2mm wide slitting saw. Now I need to try and bend this so that this part is parallel to here. Okay, so after a little bit of fettling, I had to remove some of the tab to get it all lined up properly. I've very slightly overbent it, so it's just leaning inwards slightly. This is a 3/8 drill, but it does turn nicely. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with that actually. This was the bit I was most worried about, was the bending, and actually we got it spot on almost straight away. So there is a little bit of a gap there, but I could probably tap that in maybe a bit more. I've attacked these a bit with a file just to make them look a bit more presentable. Actually, that's the best one. So these need welding in as well. So if I put the best side on the top and front, I don't think you're going to notice the badness on the back. I didn't drill the holes in here for two reasons really. The spot holes that are in here don't match up with the holes in the frame at all, so they're of no use. And from what I've heard, this bracket needs to be moved back by 2mm, something like 2mm, to get all the valve events not working nicely on the Modelworks. So what I'll do is I'll leave this for now, and I'll spot through from the inside of the frame if I can, and you know, mark where I actually need the holes once I've done a lot more work on the valve timing. So what I'll do is I'll clamp this to the frame with some toolmaker's clamps for now, and we'll come back and drill it later on. So I've got these clamped up. I haven't got a 12mm drill, but I've got a 12mm reamer. So I'm just protecting the reamer with a bit of cardboard, which will probably burst into flames, so keep an eye out for that. I've checked these are at 90 degrees. I need to just adjust them slightly. But that should hold them in place, so I'll tack just in one place where I can get to these, and then finish welding with the clamp out the way. Let's just go through the TIG settings. So we've got a pre-flow of 1 second. The ramp up is ½ a second, so I've increased that from 0.2. 61 amps, half a second ramp down on the current, and 3 seconds post flow. So I've increased the post flow as well a bit, just to try and prevent too much oxidation. But we can see we're on DC, and that's the switch mode, and that's obviously TIG. So not too bad. We have undercut a little bit on this side. I was worried about that. I'm hoping you won't notice that too much once it's ground down. It's also on the inside as well. So we'll let that cool down completely, and then we'll attach that part to this part. So as an experiment, I'm going to try just welding some filler rod into the slots where I've made the bend. So I'll pop that in and just see if I can melt that into the slot. So we have filled in some of that slot with weld. It's reasonably successful. Hopefully the silver solder will sort out the rest of it, or I can just use a little bit of JB weld just to smooth it all off. So I like to give my silver soldering a quick spray with soapy water once I'm done. It just lifts off most of the burnt flux, so you can actually see what's going on. So what we can see is we've got pretty decent penetration all the way around here, up there. You can see it's gone through, so this triangular piece is nicely mounted. If we go round the back, you can see we've got nice penetration through there and on that corner as well. So I'm pretty sure that's strong enough now, and I think that's as much as I'm going to do with the silver soldering. So there's the odd piece that doesn't look great. I will fix that with a bit of araldite or JB weld. I did my best on that, but it just wouldn't sit it. The silver solder wouldn't sit where I wanted it, so never mind. So it just needs a really good clean up, a little bit of filler of some description, araldite probably, just to tidy it up a little bit, and then that's ready to go on the loco. So this video's got quite long now. If you'd like me to video making the bracket for the other side, please leave a comment, say yes or no, because it's basically going to be the same process. I mean, this has taken me a couple of days to do, so it'll be another couple of days filming, so I don't think I can do that all this week. But yeah, if you'd like me to do that next week and make a video about it, I'm quite happy to do that. Let me know your preferences. So I'll leave it there. I hope you enjoyed that. Like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.